This episode of the Damage Guild podcast is sponsored by listeners like you. Join the guild at patreon.com/damageguild to receive exclusive perks, member rewards, and bonus content.
Last time on the Damage Guild podcast.
Greetings, Lord Evanvale. This is an intruder to our valley. I lay the skull on his desk. We found this where we also found the ley line. I believe there are a few papers we must both sign in order to dispense with the contractual agreements for the grove.
Yes, of course. There is one other matter of business. I have assembled the list you asked for. I ask that you refrain from mentioning my name should anyone question where you learned this information. Dorian hands you a small, folded piece of parchment.
I'll tuck it into my waistcoat pocket.
And he grabs a couple of papers from a stack, flips through a little bit, and pulls two out from a few pages down.
Sign here and here. And
yeah. You'll look over these contracts.
Thank you. I hand them to Erath as my advisor to read through them, make sure everything's as it should be.
He pores over the documents. These appear to be in order. These are the terms agreed upon by Lord Vanject.
Very good. Well, if all is in order, then I shall sign my Verrol Hancock, as it were, on these documents as needed.
Verrol, are you sure you want to sign your life away to a life of herbing?
Well, it's not my life, it's my grandfather's life, and his life is almost over. So, it's his decision. I'm merely the stand-in, really. The caveat, of course, as you've already been informed, no doubt, Lord Evanvale, is that the reason for this grove's bounty, as we understand it, is the green substance flowing through the river. As we have recently altered the volume of said substance, it may eventually have an effect on our business. But it is something that we and only we are in control of and can alter further if needed. So, rest assured, we will do what we must in order to keep the business going.
Very well. That seems agreeable. It seems as though it might be best to have a sample of this liquid in greater concentration so that we could better study it and perhaps put it to greater effect where it's needed. But with its possible dangers, maybe it is best that it stays where it is.
Have you an individual with such skill in your employ?
Not directly, no, but I believe I could likely locate someone.
Ah. Now then, I believe there are other business matters we must attend to, and I'm sure the same is true for yourself. So thank you for your time, and we shall meet again soon. And I shake his hand as I swipe the skull off the table with my other hand.
Lord Evanvale rises to shake your hand and bows slightly. Says, "Good day to you, sir. It's always a pleasure doing business with you."
Likewise.
I make sure that I also get a handshake.
He shakes your hand, but just gives you kind of a small nod.
And then pulls out a thing of wet wipes and, surreptitiously under the desk.
A little pump of hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Looking forward to working with you on the gardening.
As am I.
Good day. Leave me alone.
Yes. This meeting is adjourned, so I give him a slight bow and we excuse ourselves.
Yeah, you roll out the red carpet for Verrol, and then you're just like, that's nice.
All right, and we take our leave.
What else are you going to do?
I need to go find this carpenter guy. His name, they told me where he was, and his name is Ryan Terrell.
And I am off for a dose of high adventure at none other than Fossdale Fabrics.
Well, that sounds nice, Verrol. You do like clothing, I can see that.
Yes. What say we run our errands in tandem?
Yes. And
in other words, together.
But separately.
I don't think that's what in tandem means.
In tandem meaning we can kill one bird with 3 stones by all doing the same thing at the same time instead of doing separate things at the same time.
Why don't we figure out which one's closer, the seamstress or the carpenter?
You know what? Never mind. Let's just go separately.
Yes, I admire your inefficiency, Verrol, but I prefer to go do some research on my own.
Maybe you and I could go together, but it would make sense that with Zara would be like, I'm going to break off and do my research. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just figured it was a good way maybe to meet some more of the local business people about town.
Oh, yeah, Verrol, I'll introduce you to Ryan. Actually, I kind of hope you would come with me because sometimes I have trouble talking with the locals, and you don't seem to have that same issue.
I'm certainly available to assist however I might. I ask Arath if he has spoken with this particular carpenter in relation to the buildings at the Grove.
Yes, that name does seem familiar. He goes through some of his papers. Like, yes, he's here as one of the journeymen working on the furnishings.
Ah. Oh, he is? So we're already working with this guy.
Well, he is already contracted to start work on the Grove at some point, but that's not to say he already has.
But it sounds like we already have a relationship with him by extension.
By extension, yeah, but I've never met him.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't that big of a deal money-wise, but if we have a lot of downtime, I'd like to try to get it. Yeah, full price, or if we can shave off. It's a 5 gold investment.
Okay. That's not too bad now that we have some capital.
I would love to leverage the fact that he's already employed by us. It sounds like he's going to work with us, right? Like, why not milk that, but just be like, hey, like, we know you're good. I would leave that up to Jay. I don't know if I'd like to montage that, because this is a lot of money.
I would tend to treat, and this is true in real life as well as in the game, as well as what I think Verrol would do, I would go the opposite way. I would treat a trusted contractor who has done work for me before. I would treat him well.
You want to pay him extra?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If we can afford it, so you want to throw in an extra gold piece? If we can afford it, that's all I'm saying, is I believe we should look at the party funds.
Gold piece is a lot.
Can we afford it?
Yeah, I mean, we have 9 gold in the party stash. 58 silver, 222 copper.
We go to the carpenter. I introduce myself. I tell him that I'm co-founder of the Grove, right? So he's met Arath before. We talk for a little while. I get to know him. I ask him about his family, his work. I ask him to show me samples of stuff that he's done before. I tell him we're looking to get this familiar satchel made. If you have the time in your schedule, if you can put forth your best work to make this as amenable a home for Braun as possible, I'd be willing to pay you a little bit above the going rate for it. And we're looking forward to working with you more on the Grove in the future.
It's nice to meet you, Ryan. Glad you're working with us.
He seems very pleased to be meeting with a member of House Van Jecht. Absolutely, sir. I'll put your project at the top of my priority list.
I give Kardain a little look.
Oh, yeah, we don't need to tell him that it's for Kardain at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And I tell him, thank you, Ryan. I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm sure you'll put your best work into it.
Of course. Anything to get on, well...
He doesn't say that part out loud.
And then I'm fine with paying him extra. Jay, why don't you decide what that is?
Yeah, I think an extra gold piece is suitable. That's a 20% tip.
Couple things about the party funds. Could we montage like liquidation of all the junk that we grabbed just for the money value?
Carrying around the jewels and stuff is going to be a lot lighter than carrying around everything in coinage.
But we have all the weapons and shields and stuff. We should definitely sell that.
Oh yeah, those things you can sell off.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Like armor. Yeah.
Which, by the way, there are 10 darts in our party stash.
Oh, nice.
So you can just take those.
Oh, do we want to give that to you?
There's also a spear if you want that, but assuming you feel darts are more approps.
No, yeah, darts might be better.
I'm looking at the sling.
Yeah, dart's good because it's one-handed. The sling I have to load with my other hand, so... and then we take our leave and we head over to the Fossdale Fabrics. So I go in and introduce myself to the individual.
Oh, can I come in, Verrol?
Oh, yes, of course.
I'd like to see the place. And Kardain wipes his hands off because he knows it's a clothing shop.
And the fabricagician?
Rhoda at Fossdale Fabrics. That's how she introduced herself. She's a kind of plump woman in her maybe 50s or 60s. She greets you warmly, says, "Welcome to Fossdale Fabrics.
Oh, man.
Here to buy a fresh outfit to suit that noble head of yours."
Why, thank you, my lady. Is the woman of the house in? Surely you are her daughter.
Oh, you.
Trying to get that +1 circumstance bonus.
Circumstance bonus, yes. I pull out the fabric and I say, I have a treat for you this afternoon. This is clearly from a faraway land. I'm wondering if you might tell me everything you know about this fabric. Its make, its origin, its pattern, what it might represent, who it might have been worn by. I have yet to encounter anyone in town, or one people who I've spoken to about it, who has seen its like. As a purveyor of fine fabrics, I'm sure this might be something that you could tell me more about.
Well, this certainly is unusual. I've not seen its like in many years, but it does seem vaguely familiar. Perhaps something from my childhood.
Really? Whence do you hail?
I came here from far-off land in the west when I was young, before the Sundering.
Before the Sundering? What is the name of your homeland?
I hail from the land of Lagarde.
Lagarde?
It's lost to us, over the mountains somewhere. I don't know if it even still exists.
Are you alone in this world, my lady?
My parents passed away long ago.
And is she a human?
She looks human. She might have some other bits of other ancestries in there somewhere.
Is there anything you remember from your childhood, aside from these faint inklings?
It was so long ago, but something about the patterns here just seem familiar.
What do you remember growing up? What was it like?
Honestly, here in Fossdale is just about the only life I've ever known. I was a very young child when we moved here.
Nevertheless, I believe you've told us what we need to know. You've been very helpful. Arath, kindly fetch a few coins for the good lady.
Arath nods silently and then flips through and takes a couple of coins out and hands them to her.
I may call upon you in the future, but for now take this as a gift of my thanks and gratitude.
I appreciate that. It's not often I see something that reminds me of such old times.
I hope the memories are fond. And I bow low to her and sweep her hand into mine and give it a gentle peck. Good day, my lady. I shall see you again soon.
And a good day to you.
Kardain has 2 outfits picked out.
I turn around.
One is like, it's a parka, and he says to her, does this one come in green?
I can sew any clothing you like.
Okay. Actually, I'm mistaken. This one and this other outfit is like mesh swim trunks, like very flowy.
I lean over to Rhoda and I whisper to her and I say, should the dwarf leave stains behind on these garments, I shall reimburse you. Have no fear.
Verrol, we don't know anything about what's beyond the mountain. We could be walking into a severe heat or severe cold environment, and we might fatigue after 4 hours of being there, or we might take minor cold or minor fire damage. But if we spend 4 silver...
As you're talking, I gently take the garments and attempt to free them from your grasp.
Oh, you're going to buy these for me, Verrol? Thank you. And I let go.
I turn around and toward Rhoda and brush them off and then put them back on the rack. And I say,
what? No.
Thank you once again, my lady.
I like that jacket.
We'll be going
I spent
now.
all this time picking it out.
And I kind of start gently nudging Kardain out the door.
You like pull me out of the store?
Yeah. Kardain, we will equip ourselves as necessary once I've received permission to undertake this journey. Until then...
Okay, but I really like that jacket.
Yes,
I actually want to tell her if she makes it in white and dwarf-sized, I'd buy it.
To put it on layaway for you?
Okay, well, no, I'm literally going to go... I'm going to give her my dimensions real quick.
Perhaps we can do that another time.
It'll just take a
moment. All right, so if you want, you can go back in and do that.
Yeah. So I'd love to be fitted with fine winter and desert, but I think high-fashion fine is way too rich. I'm just interested in clothing winter from the Player's Core, page 287. These turn severe cold or severe heat into not a problem. We won't fatigue, and we won't take minor cold or minor fire damage every hour.
Okay, cool.
If I'm going to have a parka, I want it to be like a big, like Eskimo white parka.
So you blend in with the snow.
And then the desert clothing, I liked Brian's idea, which is like the swim trunks and the tank top.
Yeah, or maybe like one of the old school one-piece swimming suits that are still have the shorts.
Kardain has a one-piece.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good. Like a yellowish, greenish one-piece. Yes.
Yep.
Striped.
Nailed it.
All right, so that's that. I give her my dimensions, and I'll pay her the 8 silver pieces for both sets of clothing. It's item level 0. That's available to us already.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Plus, you're patronizing a local business.
You guys, you're like rich and stuff, but like to me, having all this money is something Kardain's never really experienced, so he doesn't really know how to budget it. So like, I went in the store and I saw something I liked, and I'm gonna pay the nice lady, and I'm gonna have some clothes because it could be cold. We don't know.
So do I need to subtract 8 silver from party funds then?
Yeah. Subtract 8 silver, and I'd like some clothes.
All right. Zara makes a mental note to hold on to all party funds from now on.
Oh yeah, next I need to go to the potion shop. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
With my business conducted, I plan to see what Lady Zara finds out today, reformulate the letter with Arath tonight, and send it out with Master Starburn in the morning.
Yeah, she still hasn't interviewed me, Verrol, about the dwarves and the statue.
We've been gone for literally 30 minutes.
No, I know, but
she is not to be interrupted until she has completed her research for tonight, so that I may include that information, as you suggested, in the letter to my grandfather. Let us leave her alone. Perhaps I could treat you to lunch if you're hungry.
Verrol, I like this proposition, and I do need to learn patience. That's what Dervin's always saying. Could we go to a different eatery than we always eat at the Embas Arms? Is there another place you like?
Yes, Arath, where have you been finding good food while we've been gone?
Oh, there are many places to purchase fish or bread, even some fine pastries and some popular fare.
Why don't you take us around to a few of your favorites?
So you go around getting stuff to eat. Zara spends the day studying as much as she can, trying to find any information possible about the dwarves and the statue and so on. Verrol, you find yourself back at the Anves Arms, getting ready for the evening. It's just you and your 2 footmen.
Well, I will dismiss them to their room, and I shall retire to mine to change my clothes, and as I change, I will withdraw the letter from Lord Ebenvale and give it a read.
Okay. I will show that to you.
So, I open the letter, and it contains 4 names, and it says at the top, list of newcomers to Fossdale.
That's not part of the actual writing, it's just the names there.
Oh, okay. It doesn't say at the top, list of newcomers to Fossdale, but I know what it is because it's what I asked for. So, I will read the full text of the note, and then I will crumple it up and toss it into the fireplace.
Okay. If you're going to do that, then I will remove it from your permissions.
Okay.
So you commit those names to memory?
Yes.
Are you committing them to notes memory as well? That might be wise.
Yeah, I need to add them.
So this isn't something that we plan on or intend to let Zara and Kardain know willingly. Like, this is something Verrol needs to keep close to the chest.
Yes, it is. Well, we go down to dinner, and I'm sort of like in my own head as we're having supper, and I kind of go to bed that night thinking that maybe my itinerary for the next day or 2 has changed.
Oh. I thought we were going to saddle up and get ready and write the letter. Something's changed.
Zara, you stay up much of the night trying to find any information on who or what Mingoldar was. After many hours searching, you do manage to find a small reference to him in an old book on dwarven histories. Mingoldar was a warden who presided over a clan of dwarves, the Stoneflowers, who lived deep underground before the Sundering, many miles below the surface. He was known for his mastery over magics of growth and transformation, and created a vast underground garden for the nourishment and enjoyment of his people. The clan spent much of the last few hundred years in relative isolation, or at least staying far from the surface, so little information is available. However, it is common knowledge that both the people and the land tend to take after their warden, so it is likely that the Stoneflowers as a whole would share similar talents and interests. Unfortunately, you are unable to find any information on the Stoneflowers since the Sundering. You also tried to find anything that talked about leyline magic having such harmful effects as you saw in the forest, and while you didn't find anything of that magnitude, there was one account of a leyline conduit, in this case a glass dome of some sort, being cracked by a citizen in an accident 224 years ago. The account says that minor earthquakes and flooding happened repeatedly over the next several weeks before the warden responsible was able to completely repair it. You find no other information of note.
Very interesting.
tired from your long night of studying, with little sleep, you all meet together the next morning once again at the Evanvale estate.
Yes, one more thing about the ley lines. One of the specific topics you were going to research was you had been confused about whether the magic contained within the ley lines was supposed to be beneficial or harmful, like health-wise, and whether there was a difference across ley lines or amongst ley lines.
Yeah, because the rumors I had heard were that by basking in the glow of the ley lines, you could enhance your magical prowess. So was that anything I was able to look up in that time, Thane?
From all that you know, the ley lines have been a positive influence, but they were also always channeled through the warden's powers and things that they had made.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, yeah, so then if the one we found truly was a ley line, then maybe it was corrupted. It's been corrupted somehow.
Yeah, or the warden not being present is what makes the magic so dangerous, because it takes a warden to raise a ley line. The wardens have to be like there in order to like positively, you know what I mean?
Their presence has a passive effect on it or something.
Yeah. Like a nuclear power plant is great because it provides lots of electricity, but like you don't want to come in contact with uranium, you know?
Yeah. Unless you're Iron Man, maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
Or the Hulk.
Right, so it's next morning.
All right. So I will bring both Arath and Stoke with me to the Evanvale estate.
Okay.
And I'll make sure that Arath is complete with his little pack of writing implements and parchments and so forth, so that he can take down any notes.
Ready to be your scribe.
Yep. And then I will ask Zara about her research, any useful tidbits she may have found.
Yeah, I'll share what I learned about Mingledar and the stone flowers, and about this one ley line that was cracked that caused lots of flooding and storms.
So we'll include the Cliff's Notes version of that account into the letter, and try to highlight the importance to my grandfather that this may be a situation of dire consequence, and that following the ley line magic to the other side of the mountain may be of utmost importance to our valley and its future.
There's no telling what other culture out there we've, well, let's just say we didn't make a good first impression.
That is for certain.
All right, so you finish writing your letter, and Arath gives the letter to Tebriel, and Tebriel agrees to return it to your grandfather, and he sets off.
Well, I thank him profusely for all of his help, and I tell him that I hope that his journeys with us have not come to an end, but I understand that he must get back to his regular place of business, and we'll see him again someday, hopefully.
We hope his starburns stay nice and fuzzy.
Yep, and star-shaped.
It was a pleasure accompanying you and doing business with you as well.
Likewise. All the best.
A parting gift for you, sir. A little comb with which to comb your sideburns.
And some burn wax. It's like beard wax, but it's just for sideburns specifically.
He has a full beard, not just sideburns going on.
Well, not after we shaved it last night while he was asleep.
Yeah. He's got to represent his namesake.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be called Starburn.
Yeah.
He needs to have sideburns in the shape of stars.
It's like his family sigil, you know. If you don't walk around with star-shaped sideburns, then who are you really?
Right.
You're no starburn.
Are you taking leave of your senses?
You mock the family name.
So while you're waiting for a reply, which will probably take about 4 days or so, what are you planning to do in the meantime? Do you have any immediate errands?
I would advocate for spending what we have if we're literally about to go off on another adventure, but we don't know that yet, right? We don't have the approval yet.
Yeah, you'd mentioned visiting the potion shop to get some potions for our potential journey. And also, if we think there is a chance of a large shift in climate, then it would be helpful for Zara and Verrol to be prepared clothing-wise as well.
Did we ever sell off all the junk that we got from that dungeon? And by junk, I mean valuable possessions.
We talked about doing so, yes.
This is some bulk. Like, we've got, 5
5 suits of leather armor.
bunch of leather armor. Yeah, I think we should just, like, convert.
Yeah, we need to...
Just real quick.
We need to sell it all off. While you guys are doing that, Verrol needs to find a proper burial place for these bones from the kobold lair.
Well, that's a very nice thing of you to do, Verrol. I see that you at least value human life.
Yes, it's only fitting that a set of bones should have a peaceful resting place, even though this person, whomever they were, may end up being our enemy. There's no reason not to treat them with respect. So I shall be off to the town undertaker, or the gravekeeper, or whomever is in charge of such things.
Verrol, that reminds me, is Stoke going with you to the burial?
Unless you'd like his services in another regard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is similar to that time, we worked on the birdhouse. Remember that, Stoke? The birdhouse that we failed to make?
Of course I remember it.
Well, I've got something hopefully a lot easier this time.
It was the first time I failed at something.
I wonder if Stoke is such a perfectionist that actually really irks him that we utterly failed.
He has trouble getting to sleep at night now, thanks to you.
He wants a chance to redeem himself.
Stoke, listen, I want to set you up for success. All we're going to do is gut and tan and hide the weird creature we fought. The body laying over there under a blanket or something. And I pull the blanket off and...
Do you realize how long and complicated a process tanning a hide is?
I'm always willing to learn a new skill, Stoke. No matter how hard.
I'm afraid that's a skill that I don't have.
Really? That's not survival? Because Kardain's got a good survival.
I can certainly help you to skin it and get all the meat out of it and everything, and clean off the hide, but tanning it is an entirely separate thing.
Okay. Well, really all I want is I just don't want it to completely rot before I bring it to Dervin. So, maybe just handling the blood and guts and meat is good enough.
You need a taxidermist in that case.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the whole point is just to have something to show Dervin, I wonder if you don't have to go through that whole process, you just get some kind of trophy from it, the head or the teeth or something.
Yeah, I want to showcase the weirdness of the tiger beast. What do you think would be best, Stoke?
As long as you're heading over there in the next few days, you could probably just take the whole beast.
How do you guys feel about that if I just took the beast, today? Would there be enough time for me to come back?
Yeah, it's only half a day-ish.
Oh, yeah.
So you could go out and back in a day.
Yeah, if we're waiting for, 4 days, then yeah, you could do that.
That makes it a lot easier. I don't have to worry about preserving the beast. I just put it in a sack and just throw it over my shoulder. And, wait a minute. Could I borrow a horse?
And a sack? By any chance?
Yeah, and a sack.
You look like a strong, sturdy dwarf. Perhaps you could just carry it.
Yeah, but it'll be much faster if I could borrow a horse.
Yes, that's true. Do you have a wagon, perhaps? You could put the carcass in, and that way the horse wouldn't get spooked by the dead body?
This is becoming a lot more complicated by the second, Zara. Do you either of you have such a rig I could borrow just for a day or so? Maybe 2 days?
Not on hand, regrettably. Or perhaps not regrettably.
You know what? Actually, it might be good the next time I visit Dervin, you guys aren't there, and I'll smooth things over so that you could come the next time we see Dervin, because, you guys know that was a real slam dunk.
So it was, and not in the good sense either.
As the kids say, yes. Tell you what, Kardain, we have a mule and a little cart. I'll speak to my father and see if he's willing to lend it to you for a day. That should be sufficient to get the corpse out there and back.
Yeah, I basically am one of his employees now. I feel like he would want me to have the things that I need to do what I need to get done, right?
just
surrounding region.
Just in a general sense, not for work, just to get things done.
Yeah, your acquaintances, you're his employee, you're his best friend, basically. It's the same thing.
Well, actually, Verrol, I might be talking about the grove and the work, actually, now that we have a little bit more concrete that we're going to be in business together, that I probably have to tell Dervin that I'm employed now. He probably would want to know about that.
Perhaps.
That did go through, right, Zara? I'm not just saying something. Like, I did actually get the employment approval.
I don't know. I'll ask my father about that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of want to know that before I go see Dervin.
Have you signed a contract of employment?
No.
Then you are not officially an employee of the business as yet.
Okay, I see. So is that how that works for non-dwarves? Like, because we tend to just put it there, handshake, and our word is as good as gold.
That is not how things work in my world. Contracts dictate everything.
Okay.
As does gold.
Zara, I guess I can't go see Dervin yet, but it's probably not going to rot. I guess I should go get hired. And, Kardain slicks his hair back.
Yeah.
A little bit of spit and spit shine.
Maybe you should wear your fancy new desert clothes. Your swim trunks and tank top.
Tank top.
That you bought at the Fossdale Fabrics shop.
Really? You think that's best?
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand humanish culture very well. It might not be normal in dwarven culture, but around here, that's typical attire for a job interview.
Yes, the less you look like you're trying, the more likely you are to succeed.
As your grandfather used to say.
Yes.
Game Master, is there anything that Kardain can do to, try to see if they're lying to him?
Could make an insight check.
Really? You speak true, friends?
I think it's pretty obvious that they're teasing you or not actually.
Oh, okay.
Kardain, yes, let's go and see if we can speak to my father.
I mean, I'm confused about the whole thing, really, frankly. I thought I already had the job.
Yeah, I thought that was already taken care of, too.
Was it? I can't remember.
You know what? Actually, the more because again, my memory, the more we talk about it, the more I think he said he'd think about it.
I was under the impression that, yes, he was most certainly interested in hiring you. However, you simply have not signed on the dotted line, as it were. So, I believe you have every right to approach him and ask for the appropriate documents.
Yeah, Zara, let's get a meeting. Let's figure out my salary. What am I going to be doing? Let's do it.
Yes, we'll work on open enrollment, figure out your 401k and vision, dental, all of that. Yes, let's go.
Kardain gives you a nice, yellowed smile.
Like he totally knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I think this is prior to toothpaste.
Yes, we'll try and go and get a meeting with Lord Ebenvale.
I'll go ahead and let them know that I'm going into town to find out who to give these bones to.
Okay.
And I'll bring both Stoke and Arath with me once again.
Lord Ebenvale is busy at the moment. He doesn't want to meet directly, but he has someone hand you a kind of ready-made contract, and so you can read that over, your basic duties, and sign it at your leisure.
Let me take a look at this.
Let's see, minimum hours, 60 hours a week.
Straight pay for 40?
$2 an hour.
What does this part mean here? I know what a garnish is. You put it on a salad, right?
Yes, exactly.
It says something about if I ever betray... Yeah, something about garnished. I don't understand some of the language here.
Yes, if you ever betray my family, you will get some parsley on your salad.
Your head will be garnished from your shoulders.
You don't need to know all this stuff. Just sign at the bottom. You'll be fine.
Okay. This doesn't seem like it's permanent employment. It uses the word temporary in a couple places.
That's simply a matter of the base year and the option years. You're signing on for base year, and then the option years are at his discretion if you do a good job, I believe is how that works.
Oh, okay. So if I do a good job, he'll sign on for more.
For additional time.
Longer period of performance, yeah.
Of my services. Okay, all right. And Kardain signs it and hands it to Zara.
I take it and hand it back to him and say, you can hand this in to my father.
You crumple it up and put it in your mouth and start chewing it.
I crumble it up, throw it in the trash. No, we'll just slip it under his door.
Kardain gets out like a little old-fashioned stamp pad, and I rub my insignia into the stamp, and then I stamp the contract.
Yeah.
So that it's Grove Tender official.
Nice.
Right.
We do that with all our documentation. It gets the stamp.
Awesome.
As for burying the body, you find someone who takes care of the local graveyard, and you'll have to buy a spot of land and pay for the work of digging up a grave and stuff if you want to do all that.
Oh, yes, of course. I let Arath handle the finances of that. Can't have bones littering the ground. They must be properly cared for.
He buys some little plot off in the corner far away from everything else where no one else is.
I make friends with the gravekeeper.
He's just rather down-to-earth fellow. He's just a normal guy. He doesn't seem to know how to deal with anyone of noble-ish background.
I have Arath pay him extra couple of silver pieces in exchange for him just like putting a couple flowers on the grave every now and then.
Very well, sir.
He doesn't have to actually do it, he just has to say that he will and take the silver.
So, Kardain, you head off to visit Dervin?
Yeah, so I'll see you in a day or so, and thanks for letting me borrow the cart and the wagon, and oh wait, I guess I just need the horse or mule. Can I still borrow that, Zara?
Yes, here you are. And she leads a little mule out with a little cart behind it.
Oh, thanks. I guess I could bring some tomatoes to eat on the way and back. So, I guess the cart still serves a purpose. Oh, no, I wanted to drag the beast. That's right. But I still grabbed some of those tomatoes.
Yes, the mule's name is Melford, by the way.
Melford?
Yes. Treat him well.
And Kardain, strokes his mane. That's a good mule. Thanks, Zara.
And then you have to sign, a rental car form that, says you'll bring it back with limited mileage on it and in, similar condition.
Yes, make sure to top off the gas when you return it.
Right, they want to know my insurance plan as well.
Yeah.
To return the mule fully fed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And before we leave the graveyard, I just asked the gravekeeper, you wouldn't by any chance know the location of the watermill, would you?
Sure I do. It's just on the east side of the river, south end of town.
Ah, very good. Thank you. Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Back to Kardain.
I guess I'll set off for my little journey, huh? I'll see you two in a day or so.
Alright, so you head up the river, going all the way up to Dervin's house, and when you arrive, the tree that Verrol had cut up during your last visit seems to have been healed. You don't see any scars from the sword.
Wow, I touch where it is just to make sure it's not an illusion.
Feels like natural bark.
Wow.
You knock on the door, I guess.
Dervin, you in there?
Kardain, is that you?
Yeah, it's just me.
Why don't you just come inside?
Okay.
So you open the door and let yourself inside?
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Oh, I have something for you.
Well, what's that, Dervin?
I'd bring it out myself, but I'm afraid it's rather heavy for someone of my age. Come along.
Oh, I'm always happy to help you lift things. You know that. Oh, can I give you these tomatoes?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Just so you know, these are from the grove.
Yes, so I will study this.
Oh, yeah, you might want to do that instead of eating it. Yeah, that's true. I still like the taste of them, and you see Kardain takes another bite. It's got a magical sweetness.
They're magically delicious.
So Dervin leads you through to the back of his house, where he gestures to something propped up against the wall by the back door. Here it is. I'm not quite sure how you'll be able to use something like that, but it turned out just like how you asked. And in front of you is a massive hunk of wood curved into the shape of a shield, with its front surface enveloping dozens of mossy stones of various sizes, as if grown around them.
Whoa. Dervin, it's better than I thought it would be. It's so tree-like.
Was shaped from all natural wood, under my own tender care.
I have so many questions. I mean, how much did it cost you? How long did it take to grow?
You will learn all such things in time. As a grove tender, I've only been growing this for a few months. I'd say it turned out rather well.
It's beautiful. I mean, on the most recent Journey Master, we were fighting giant monsters of all sorts of types. Creatures that have been twisted by this supposed ley line magic, and my steel shield got real beat up. We had to fix it at some point, but this shield looks like a fortress of wood.
I'm glad to see that you've returned safely to me, despite your hardships, and I hope that this shield serves you well.
You don't even know how much it means to me, and I go in for a big hug.
He accepts it and pats you a couple of times on the head.
I feel actually ready.
It's a rite of passage.
He's like, you are ready. Now I never need to give you counsel again. You're ready to go off on your own.
I already said that you were ready in my eyes last time we spoke.
I didn't feel ready, Dervin, and now... Hold on a second, and Kardain tries to pick up the massive shield.
It is extremely heavy. It'll take some getting used to.
Oh!
Is it heavier than a rat, tiger, dog corpse? Or about the same?
Good question.
Oh, this thing's way heavier. This is one of the heaviest shields in the game.
Wow.
It might be the heaviest shield in the game.
Probably.
Dervin, this thing's perfect.
I'm glad to see you like it. Take good care of it, and I'm sure it will take good care of you.
Oh, there were a couple other things, and I show him the carbon copy of my employment contract. I got a job at the Grove, and I didn't want to hide that from you at all. I mean, I never hide anything from you, and I just wanted you to know that I said yes.
Basically because the Grove tenders don't pay me enough. So they say if you find something you love and get someone to pay you for it, and you'll never work a day in your life, but you guys don't pay me for it, so I had to find someone.
Dervin, please understand, my Grove tender responsibilities are tantamount. This is like a side gig, okay? I just wanted you to be aware of it.
It's basically like instead of a volunteer Grove tender, you're now a professional Grove tender.
I see no issue with taking on such an employment. It keeps you in the area that you're already meant to tend, seeing as how you've also taken upon yourself the duty of dealing with the people in this land. This seems like an appropriate means to do so.
It also means that instead of a nature-bound Grove tender, you're a greedy corporate Grove tender.
Yeah, I only tend the Grove for money now. Dervin, actually, you should be paying... No, I'm kidding. Dervin, if you have any insights, any advice for getting along with Fossdale and the surrounding human societies, I'd love to hear it. I don't understand their jokes sometimes. It just goes right over my head. And they're weird. They don't like the same things as me. I thought they were just tall dwarves. I mean, they're so different from us.
They wear swimming trunks to their job interviews.
Yeah, that was the weird thing.
I thought they called them swimsuits for a reason.
To be perfectly honest with you, I've spent most of my life apart from civilization. I'm afraid I have little advice to offer you in that regard.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
He's as put off by it as you are.
I'm just hoping, now that I'm employed, maybe things will start to move in a good direction. Maybe they'll trust me more.
From my eyes, it seems as if your companions already trusted you.
I should make sure I don't lose that trust.
Such a change does seem to be for the best. Make good use of it.
Dervin, we might be going away again. I just wanted your thoughts and approval because that might mean a week or so away from the Grove I'm supposed to guard.
Nature can usually take care of itself. We are there to but guide it in the right direction and ensure that no particularly powerful tragedies befall it. If you need to take some time away, that is on your own account.
It's not a vacation. We're going over the mountain. What's over there? Do you know?
No one in the valley knows what's across the mountains now. At least, not to my knowledge.
Well, so I tell him all about the place we found in the mountains and see if that jogs his memory.
I've heard of many ruins, but these particular ones do not sound familiar to me.
That's a shame, Dervin. I was kind of hoping you might, because, I mean, they're right here. Does our jurisdiction end at the foot of the mountains?
Nature is not so clear-cut. Our responsibility is all of the land that we can see, wherever we can have influence.
Everything the light touches.
That makes it sound like I should go over the mountain.
If you feel that you are being called in that direction, then so be it.
Dervin, listen. I've got a bag outside on the wagon with a dead body. I need you to inspect it. No, wait, no, it's not a person. It was like a tiger monster thing, but it was clearly really infected by this magic, and I wanted to give you a couple different samples, right? You got the tomatoes, and you're going to have the tiger.
I'll be sure to study it.
You might want to study it sooner than later. It's starting to smell. To be honest with you, Dervin, it already smells. Sorry about that.
I will see what I can learn from it.
I bring the bloody, slimy...
Just leave it out back.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'll leave it out back. Yep. And, Dervin, thanks for the shield.
You're ever welcome.
I mean, I want to be buried with this thing. It's so beautiful. Dervin, I love you, buddy. And I mean that from the bottom of me dwarvish heart.
And Kardain, you've been almost as a son.
Oh, well, that means a lot, Dervin.
You just start ugly crying.
No, that's what happened last time. Why does this always happen to me? All right, well, I'll make sure this, basically like a son of yours, comes home. But I need to go help my friends.
Good luck. Safe travels.
Thanks, Dervin. I don't know what to say. This might be the last time we see each other, and I go in for another hug.
This time he gives you a light hug, pats you on the back a few times.
And then Braun gets in on the hug this time.
So Braun reaches out because his tendrils and envelops both of you.
I know, Braun. I know. We'll see him soon.
He looks at Dervin with his sad, watery black eyes. All right, so you bid farewell and head back to town.
All right, Melford, let's get on.
That was my best Yule impression.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, thanks.
Anything else happening over the next few days?
Yes, like immediately as soon as we leave the graveyard, as soon as we're out of sight of the grave tender, I duck behind a tree and say, Era, Stoke, you're with me.
Stoke ducks into hiding behind you. Aerith casually walks over. What is...
Listen, men, we may have found him. So this is what we're going to do. It's time for a nap. Because tonight, it's going to be a good old-fashioned stakeout. You with me?
All right, sir.
Your enthusiasm is infectious.
Stoke speaks up. So, where did you find him? What are we staking out?
We're staking out the old water mill, the southern end of town on the east side of the river.
If you say so, maybe we can finally leave this town behind and head on back home soon, huh?
I knew you would be enthusiastic about it. Perhaps we may.
Aerith looks a little bit less enthusiastic to be staying up in the middle of the night, but...
He likes to get his beauty sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever brings this mission to an end sooner.
Sorry, old bean. You won't be getting your beauty sleep tonight. You'll have to be on our guard.
So you wait until evening and head on down to around the mill?
Yes. I try to take a nap, but I'm too excited.
The water wheel at the mill is continually running, and you can see that the building itself is old, but at least externally appears to be in good shape. It's been frequently painted and such. The building is separated into two sections. There's the mill itself, and there's an adjoining house, which is a modest 2-story wooden structure. Being late at night, you don't really see any activity. There's a light coming from one of the windows, but you don't see people outside or anything.
Do we see anyone moving around inside where the light is?
You can see some shadows against the curtains.
All right, well, that's what a stakeout is all about. We slap ourselves awake and stare at the building all night long until something happens.
My kind of stakeout involves seared cow meat. I'm going to be honest. I'm fearful for you, Jay. What if this goes into initiative and you're not there with Zara or Kardain? Why are you willingly splitting the party?
I tell Stoke and Aerith, remember, we need proof. Grandfather was very adamant about that. We need proof of what's occurring here before we do anything.
A few hours pass. Stoke lets out a big yawn. Are you sure he's in here?
No, of course I'm not. That's why we're staking it out. That's the whole point of a stakeout. Don't you know anything?
Right. Sorry, sir.
Arath, kindly slap him. Yes.
Thanks. I'm awake.
Stoke, are you just going to sit there and take that? Slap him back.
He lazily reaches out his hand and Aerith just pulls back.
Dodges out of the way. Just matrixes out of it.
That will not be necessary, sir.
Arath, kindly fetch some cold river water. It appears we need an awakening.
No, I'm awake. This is kind of boring work, you know.
Did you not nap this afternoon when I instructed you to?
Well, it's hard to just sleep in the middle of the day when you're not used to it.
Well, perhaps you'll have an easier time tomorrow, then.
Haven't you ever heard of forced relaxation?
Because I plan to continue this pattern until we have the proof that we need.
All right, whatever you say. The night passes, and eventually the light goes out, and seems like everyone goes to bed. You don't see any other movement over the course of the night.
When it's maybe like an hour or two before dawn, if the light is out and doesn't look like anybody's awake or around, then we'll go back to the arms.
All right.
This isn't over. Be ready for another night of this.
We have no idea that Verrol's doing this, right? Neither myself nor Zara. He didn't tip us off,
Yeah, I don't think so.
like, at all.
No.
Nope.
We try to look put together, and if we ever meet during the day, we try to appear as though we're not staying up all night.
Unless you specifically head over to the Evanvale estate, you're probably not going to be meeting them.
I don't think we have a reason until we get a response.
Yeah, I think that was the gist, right? That once you get word back from your Lord Grandfather,
I would let you guys know.
then we'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A few days pass while you wait for the response from Jasko Van Jecht. Verrol is continuing his stakeout each of these nights. And also, meanwhile, Ryan Terrell, the carpenter, finishes the cage Kardain commissioned for Braun.
Oh!
It's a plain but sturdy wooden and leather box, made to hang from the end of a bent pole that can be carried or strapped to your backpack.
Nice.
Braun seems pleased with his new home and fits in nice and snugly, although he prefers keeping the door open to let the sunlight land on his leaves.
Awesome.
I'm glad you like it, Braun.
He just caresses the side of it, feeling the shape of the wood in his hands.
I want to thank you from the bottom of me heart. You don't know how important this is to me and to Braun.
Always welcome, Master Dwarf.
Oh, I'll be back. Trust me. We're going to probably have plenty more coin and more jobs for you.
I have plans for a large mechanized suit made of wood.
I look forward to doing business with you again. And we'll probably be seeing more of each other anyway at the Grove. So, unsure of what the future may hold precisely, you each take this short break as an opportunity to study, practice your skills, and make preparations, both physically and mentally. And at long last, you all advance to level 2.
Hey!
Yeah!
Yeah! Boom!
Yeah!
The time has
Yeah.
come.
Dose, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Finalmente.
Guys, there's a big difference between level 1 and level 2 in Pathfinder. Let me tell you.
I feel like I've at least doubled in power.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
You know, we're using the free archetype variant,
Yes.
and I think that makes our level up to level 2 just so
That
much more
exciting.
impactful. Yeah, like we all got multiple things, which is so cool.
Yeah, I think level 1 to 2 is really the only time in your progression that you can say you have actually doubled in power.
I mean, unless you count going from 0 to 1 at character creation, in which case you've gained infinite power.
That's true. That's true.
Now, it's the evening before you expect to receive a return letter from your grandfather, when finally you see something of note on your stakeout.
Ooh.
Oh, you guys have been staking out like night after night?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Apparently.
I mean, Kardain doesn't know that, but yes.
Oh my goodness. They are so loyal. I'm flabbergasted. Just like I would believe that out of Stoke, but
That's why we pay him the big bucks.
you're a loyal henchman.
Yep.
The lights have already been put out inside the house, and they've been out for maybe 30 or 40 minutes. When you see the door open slowly first, you can see a face peeking out under a hood.
I say the same to Arath and Soak. Hoods up, men. Make sure they have the hoods of their cloak pulled up.
They quickly conceal themselves. Whoever's looking outside the door glances back and forth, doesn't seem to notice you, quickly steps outside and closes the door behind him, and moves off towards the north.
Follow me, then. And we begin to slowly creep along the tree line, following him at a safe distance.
Okay.
But Verrol has a moment of hesitation, and I'm starting to think, maybe we should simply break in and see what he may have inside, if there's any written evidence.
Couldn't you just send one of your henchmen to do that?
Further split the party?
Yes, brilliant. The idea is coming to me.
Well, the two of you can take one person, probably, right?
Yes, but who would be better equipped to break in, Arath or Stoke? Clearly Stoke. But if I send Stoke, then I don't have my combat man at my side. It's all very perturbing.
You don't think Arath could just, break a window?
Possibly, but we don't want there to be evidence that we've been there. Nope, never mind. Scratch that idea.
Wait. You pick locks. What if you broke in and they tail the guy?
I think for tonight we must tail him, and then perhaps on the morrow we shall see if there is a... I'm torn.
But what evidence are you hoping to find just by tailing this person? Wouldn't physical proof of whatever you're looking for be better?
All right. Well, you guys aren't there to give him advice.
Yeah. We're gonna just go with Plan A. We're gonna follow him.
So you keep your distance as much as you can while still being able to see where he's going. And he kind of weaves in and out behind trees and just through alleyways and makes his way through town in a rather roundabout way. As he is seeming to make efforts to throw people off of any potential trail he is making, I'll have you make a check to see if you can successfully follow him.
Ooh, okay.
We like when checks happen.
Yes.
When we succeed them.
Let's say stealth against a perception.
Okay. Here goes nothing. Oh, that is a terrible, terrible roll. A 12.
Wait, could we invoke a hero point here?
Ooh, we could.
This is really important to your story, isn't it, Jay?
Yes.
This would be a spot where you would maybe want to do it.
All right, what does that let me do? Just re-roll?
Yes, a hero point is one reroll.
I am going to spend a hero point.
The first hero point of the campaign, everybody.
Amazing.
Being spent on a stealth check, but it's an important one.
Very important one.
So it says on my character sheet I have 2, so I'm going down to 1. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so what we are playing with an alternate rule where basically every time that the party comes back to town or another place to rest long term, they'll have 3 hero points.
Okay.
And then they spend those and they're gone until they have another chance to rest.
Maximum of 3.
We prefer this over the artificial, 1 per hour to someone in the party.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to try a reroll here. Here we go. That's better. It's a 17 this time.
It seems a couple of times like he turns back and you think he might have spotted you, but you're not sure. And as you continue following him, he doesn't manage to lose you, at least. And he eventually does stop in front of some small house. He looks around one more time and then knocks on the door. You hear a voice, but you can't make out what it's saying. The door opens up and he goes inside and closes it behind him.
As soon as the door shuts, I look for a path of approach that will not put us in sight of a window.
Okay, you could probably sneak along in front of, right up underneath the windows of the nearby buildings to get towards it.
So we'll make our approach, moving as stealthily as possible, and then we will attempt to find a location at which to drop some eaves.
This is where you need an old-fashioned ear horn to hold up to the window.
Or a glass to put against the window, yeah. Also, I mark this house on my map.
Mental map of it.
Yeah, I just take stock of its location.
So you make your way up to the house. You can hear voices inside. It sounds like they're speaking quietly, as if they are anticipating someone potentially trying to listen in. Or at least they don't want to take the risk. But you can catch certain words and phrases from what you can make out. Well, you hear the phrase drumming up support. You also hear discussions about flow of money and equipment, readying supplies of some kind. For a few seconds, the volume picks up slightly. Have to be ready to move down south. I've seen one of them in town, the youngest. Fear it's only a matter of time before he's on to me. And then you hear a response in hush, shh, and then the voices drop back down again. You're trying to listen, but the only other phrases that you can pick out with any confidence is something about when the others will show up.
Okay.
The plot thickens.
Yes.
And then you can hear them starting to move towards the door.
Okay, I will quickly just see if I can get a glance inside and get just like a rough number of people that might be in there, and then duck back down, and we'll scamper off into the darkness.
Okay, so you peek your eyes just above the top, and you think there's probably maybe like 8 to 10 people.
Oof. Okay.
And then you rush off into the night.
Yes, and we make our way circuitously back to the Ambus Arms.